Hey everybody, welcome to our youth online service. We've got another episode of our series that we're going through called Walk a Mile, where we're real people having real conversation. We really do get out of breath sometimes because we're quarantined, and what do you do when you're quarantined at home? You just eat a lot. Anyway, hey, one quick announcement. We've still got beach camp going on, so go ahead and sign up. Again, a link right here. Go there. Let us know you're coming. Deposits are due June the 7th. Anyway, hey, engage with this lesson. I think there's a storm coming. The wind's picking up. Crazy. Anyway, hey, thanks for being here. Engage with our video tonight. It's really good. We're super excited about our special guests. Anyway, we'll see you later.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Walk a Mile. If you don't know me, my name is Candler Thomas. I am Tyler Thomas's wife. So we have a special guest today that I'm really excited about. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
I'm Kendall. I'm Candler's sister. That's all.
Yeah, this is Kendall, my little sister. So I want to go ahead and say hey to my mom and dad before we get started, because I know that they'll watch this one too. So go ahead and tell us just a little bit about yourself, but tell us kind of your salvation story, like how you came to know the Lord.
Okay, so my name is Kendall. I'm Candler's sister. I already said that. I am a senior in college. I'm about to graduate. Well, I'll graduate, but I won't really graduate until I don't even know when. But, so that's a little bit of who I am. But as far as like when I came to know the Lord, me and Candler's dad, he was a pastor at our church growing up, and my mom taught Sunday school, so we were always at church. And so church was kind of like a really, really big part of our lives. But it's something that, I mean, I don't know about you, but I never like resented that fact. I always just like loved that we got to be at church all the time. It was just something that was like a part of our lives. I never knew that wasn't normal. But so I grew up and we went to church all the time, so I knew a lot about God, a lot of Bible stories, a lot about like who He is. But then there was this like a missing part, like you know a lot about Him, but do you know Him? So I think that finally clicked for me when I was in middle school. So I was still really young, but that part of like I want to know God, not just like about His character. I want to know Him. So I was in middle school and I accepted Jesus, and both my parents got to baptize me in a pool at summer camp, just like you.
Yeah, we were both baptized in a pool. Fun fact.
I probably wanted that because it was like really special, and also you did it, so I wanted to do it. Anyways, so just from then, it's been a wild adventure of like getting to know more and more about God and who He is and what that means for me, but also like getting to know Him personally has just been a crazy, crazy fun thing. And life hasn't always been like perfect, but life has been so much better because of the decision I made when I was 11 years old.
Yeah, cool. 11. Middle school was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I think one thing that you said that really sticks out to me, and it's becoming like more of a gift than I realize now, is just what church is and how our parents like loved it, and as a result like almost like pass that on to us. Like church has never been like a burden or a chore or something we had to do. It really was some place that our parents loved being, and so I think it's really cool because now I see like the value and the gift that church is, and like relationships that we have through church and like through a community of believers, and it's so special and it's so cool.
Well, I think even now more than ever we see just how much church is not a building.
Yeah.
Even like we're out and about in the middle of the woods walking, and I think like that's the church. It's not a building. It's not just like a place. It is a place where we meet, but it's like a body of believers.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see how the church is moving even when we're not moving in church.
Yeah.
In the
That
church
is cool.
building right now.
Not in the building.
Yeah.
So you mentioned kind of a little bit about yourself and that you're a senior in college. So tell us tell us where you go to school and kind of tell us why you chose that school. Because we have some high schoolers that are looking at and thinking about college in the future.
Yeah. So I grew up, obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but you guys live in Georgia now, but that's where we're from. And my sister,
McDonough, shout out.
Yeah, my sister went to school and she played basketball in Mississippi, and she met her husband while she was there, who's Tyler. Wild. And when I was deciding on where I wanted to go to school, I wanted to go to a place that was small enough to where I could, like, I don't know people and feel a part of a community, but also not where everybody knew all my business all the time. So I knew I wanted a school like that, but then also at the same time that was like a Christian school where I was going to have to go off on my own, figure out life on my own, and I wanted that to be in a safe space, in a safe place where I knew that people's main priorities matched up with mine.
Yeah, it can be hard enough to like leave, period.
Yeah. I wanted to do it in a space where I knew that I could go and, like, I don't know, just a safe place. And I think, so I went to Mississippi College in a small town in Mississippi, and so that's been the perfect fit for me. I was kind of dragging my feet at first because I don't want to go there.
Believe it or not, we're a lot alike, but we're a lot different. I'm a pretty good decision maker. Maybe not good, but like decisive. Kendall, she wants to
I would rather, I don't know, if somebody could look at me and say, this is what I think you should do, I would just do it. And I mean, I am a people pleaser, but at the same time, like, big decisions like that, I think I just put so much pressure on it that I just couldn't decide. I would much rather just, like, this would be a good option for you, and then I'd be like, okay, I'd go along with it, it'd be fine. But,
so tell us,
I decided to go to school 2 weeks before school started. But it was a really great fit.
but it worked out, and the Lord
really did
has
right.
used it.
I was not making it easy at all.
So tell us so you've been there 4 years now, because this is your senior year, your last semester. So tell us how this last semester has been different as a result of Corona.
Okay. So I knew that times were, like, things were winding down, and everything that I was doing, I was kind of thinking, okay, this is my last time being able to do this.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff was really, like, nostalgic and fun stuff, and then the other stuff was just like, I hate this so much, I can't wait for this to be over. It's my last time doing it. But I knew that it's my last spring break, so it's a last time to be able to go anywhere and just, like, have that set break. So I knew I wanted to go on a trip, specifically a mission trip, just because, like, my heart is a lot, like, I just love missions. So I wanted to go on a trip, and I had a few options, but I landed on getting to be able to go to Athens, Greece, with a
Roughing it in Greece.
Oh my gosh, we're walking uphill. Sorry, we're walking uphill. It's hard. Getting to go to Athens, Greece with the Hard Places community, and the Hard Places community is an organization that is just getting started there. They haven't even been there a year. And they just got a rental property. It's like a storefront property. And they work a lot with refugees, Middle Eastern people who have came to Greece to seek asylum. And so they weren't wanted in their country. A lot of them come from Afghanistan and Iran. They flee to Greece, where they're not really wanted there either. So our main job while we were there is just to hang around them, love on them, and say, we love you, like, we see you, we know you, we love you. And just to make them feel known and feel loved. So a lot of work we did was working in parks with them, and then another main thing we did was renovations on the center, just like caulking, ripping up stuff, breaking up tile. Another thing about demoing floors.
So you went on a mission trip for your spring break in college.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. tell us a little bit more about how that trip ended up going.
So before we left, we knew that the coronavirus was a thing, but it wasn't like it wasn't a big deal.
So, because you went in like what, first or second?
It was the beginning of March. So things were progressing, but it wasn't going to be to the point where we couldn't go anymore.
Where you shouldn't go. Yeah.
So every other mission trip was still like around us from different churches in the area. They were still going. So we were like, if everybody else is going, I think we should be fine.
Yeah.
So we met together and the person was like, this is becoming a thing, but it's not like a big deal at all. I think you guys should be fine.
Like you've already paid, you've done training.
Yeah.
All the
there was
details.
one person on the trip whose family decided like that they didn't want him to go anymore. And at that time we were like, that's so stupid. Like you're being crazy. Like why would you
not go?
Waste all that money, like the deposit, the plane tickets were already bought, everything.
Yeah.
Looking back now, we're like, okay, maybe he knew something we didn't know. But so we were there. We left on March 5th, which was a Thursday, and then that following Wednesday. Greece is 7 hours ahead of Georgia. So at 3 a.m. my phone, it was on vibrate. So I do not know how I woke up to hear it, but it was my mom calling me. And at 3 a.m. I knew something had to be wrong if mom was calling me at 3 a.m. So I wake up. Our Airbnb was 3 bedrooms.
Our mom loves to sleep.
Yeah. Our Airbnb was tiny. There were 6 girls in one room. Like one of us was sleeping on 6 couch, like seat cushions on the floor. Another one was on an air mattress. Like there were so many girls in there. So I like ran to the bathroom, tried not to wake anyone up. And mom's like, you've got to call your leader. You've got to like get out of there. Trump has issued like a travel ban and all this stuff. So I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do. And I'm like whispering on the phone to her like, Mom, I like, ugh. So I call the leader. We try and get stuff ready. It's 3 a.m. As soon as I get off the phone, everybody else's parents are calling and like just freaking out. Because nothing like this has ever happened before. So our original plan was to fly out on Sunday. We contacted everyone. Our travel agent, a person that we know high up in Delta to try and help us out. We called the U.S. Embassy in Greece. We called everyone to try and figure out, we need to get out of here, like, or else we're not going to be able to. Everybody was just kind of in a state of panic. And by that time, it was hitting Greece, so their public transportation was shutting down, their restaurants. Literally, it was just kind of like, this is so wild, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We tried everything to try and get out, but no, like none of our flights could be changed, so we ended up having to stay until Sunday.
But you got home, obviously.
We did get home, but it was very, very strange. Like, people came on the plane and were like, you're gonna fill out all this paperwork. Some people were getting their temperature checked. It was wild. It felt like, am I human?
Yeah.
The way these people are treating me.
So tell us a little bit kind of about even what you learned about the Lord or from the Lord from that experience.
Yeah. So for me, like before all of this happened, I was just getting in my roommate's car on March 5th for her to take me to the airport so that I could go to Greece for 1 week.
Yeah.
And then go straight back to my apartment and finish out the rest of my senior year.
Yeah.
In Mississippi. So if I would have known getting on that flight then what I know now, like everything changed. I came back to living with my parents back in Georgia, having to do a 14-day like mandatory isolation where I couldn't leave.
Because you had come from Europe, right?
Yeah. It was just really wild, and I thought that I would have the time to like say goodbye to the past 4 years, have some closure, and to be able to go on to the new season in my life. No closure, and then at the same time, I was having to decide what to do next. I had a lot of options, but like no clear path. It was like flashbacks from 4 years ago when I was trying to find a college. So obviously this lesson came back up again because I didn't learn it the first time. Now I'm having to learn it
It's not
again.
necessarily true.
No.
It's just you're in a hard season of life.
Yeah, I know. So it's just all these things I was not ready for were just hammered at once. And I'm not even out of it yet.
Yeah.
I'm still walking, still in that season. So there's a lot to be learned.
So just knowing all that has happened with, especially in the last, I guess, 6-7 weeks for you,
Yeah.
it's been crazy. Tell us how you have seen the Lord or learned more about who He is during this time of transition.
Yeah. So last January, I wanted to read the Bible through the whole year. So it ended up being a little longer than the year. But right when I got back from Greece, I finished Bible reading.
Oh,
so it was
cool.
like a year and 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Whatever, who's counting? I still did it. And so I decided, okay, now that I finished my reading, what do I want to do? So after that, I raided my parents' bookshelves and I found a book on, it was like a Bible study devotional on the names of God.
Oh, cool.
So I started, she has one called the names of God and one Jesus. So I'm going to do God first and then learn the names of Jesus.
So in Scripture, God, we read English Bible, and it pretty much says like Lord or God.
Yeah.
But in like the Hebrew or Greek, like the original language, the names of God, He had a lot more names.
Yeah,
basically.
and they each mean different
things. Yeah.
So, thank
So
you
you're
for
learning.
that. Yeah. So I've learned all about different things like the Lord, He's everlasting. Or just Yahweh, like the Lord, the name, like the sacred name for God that people wouldn't even say out loud because it was too holy. Like all of these really, really amazing things that when we read it, we kind of miss it.
Yeah.
But one that I just learned is in Hebrew, which is what the Old Testament is written in, it was Yahweh Jireh. And to us, we could say that or Jehovah Jireh. It means the same thing, and it means the Lord provides.
Yeah.
And so just reading that through a lot of where these names first were mentioned was with Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
So Abraham is taking his son up a mountain. His son that the Lord said, I'm going to give you a son.
Yeah.
He waited so long. They made a lot of mistakes, but the Lord provided a son for Abraham that was going to be the father of many nations. He would have generations as numerous as the stars in the sky. And then God asks him, will you take your son up to the mountain and sacrifice him? So it's like, God, you just gave me this, and now you're wanting to take it away? Like, I don't
Yeah.
get it. So it's several days that he is taking Isaac up the mountain. And Isaac's like, Dad, what's going on?
Yeah, like
So they get up there. He lays Isaac down, he's getting ready to sacrifice him because he's obeying God. And as soon as he's like getting ready to sacrifice Isaac, an angel appears and like, stop, don't do it. And he looks in a thicket, which is just like, I think that just means a bush. And there's a ram in the thicket. So it's like, sacrifice the ram instead of your son. And so on that mountain, I think it's called Mount Moriah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, that's where that mountain will always be remembered as where the Lord provided for Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
So just realizing that, getting to study God's word and then applying it, like, the Lord provided for Abraham, and He's been doing it for thousands and thousands of generations.
Yeah.
I am no different. He's going to provide for me just like He has provided for all of the people who love Him.
Yeah.
And so, I know that He's going to provide. So it's just trusting and surrendering throughout. When things are just so blurry and crazy in my mind.
Yeah. So our Link student ministry is kind of defined by 3 words, and I think that it's cool because these words will apply, and you've spoken to it, have applied far beyond just student ministry.
Yeah.
But our 3 words are, we want to be connected to Christ, to community, and to calling. So I want you just to speak a little bit and encourage our students. like maybe why those things are important or how they can be connected to those things, even during this time, like you're saying, of uncertainty for everyone and what's going to be maybe transition for everyone.
Yeah. I would say that, like, number one, like, without Jesus, like, we are nothing.
Yeah.
Like in Colossians 3, it says when Christ, who is your life, like, Christ is life. And in him we have life abundantly. We have it so full.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. Even when things are wild and crazy and my mind is just all over the place. Like, I can't sleep at night because I'm just thinking. Christ, he still is my life. And I can still have peace even when there's so much craziness going on. But one thing that makes it better is that he has given us his word to be able to read, which is amazing. He speaks to us through.
Yeah.
And another thing is other people.
Yeah.
Or just community. He's given us that. And just being able to talk to people and say, like, hey, this is what's going on. And I always want to make sure that, like, in my prayer time, I don't want to, like, go to other people just so I can get advice and then, like, do what they say.
Yeah.
I want to do what God says first, but he gives us people to be able to speak life and truth into us. So, like, community is a big thing. Even now, with social media and phones and everything like that, we can stay connected now more than ever before in time. And then, because Christ is our life, he gives us calling.
Yeah.
Even when we're stuck in our homes, he still has a plan, and he's still good. Even when things are hard and you don't get it, he's still good.
So good. So, wow, Kendall, thank you for walking a mile with us. Thank you for being such an encouragement. I hope that you were able to see a little bit of why I love my sister. Not only is she my sister, but she's definitely one of my best friends. And I think that one thing about you that encourages me is how genuine you are about your faith and how genuine you are about your care for other people. And it really does show. So I appreciate that. Thank you for spending time with us. We want to encourage you to, if this has been an encouragement for you, reach out to us or share it with someone else. We hope that you know that we miss you like crazy and we can't wait to be back together again. With that, we'll say goodbye. Good night. We'll see you soon.